And so typically, how are you interacting with them? You mentioned you have a meeting once a week, sometimes more if there's requirements gathering or something. But obviously, there's some other channels that you're communicating with. So how are you predominantly doing that?
So when we have something urgent come up, typically I'll email and I typically get a response back pretty quickly. We got it, we're looking at it, whatever the case may be. I also have access to a task board where I can go and put in backlog items that, if it's not as urgent, it can wait till our next meeting to discuss. I'll go and put a couple items in there, and then our next meeting we'll talk about what those are and what the approach is going to be. So multiple avenues to get there.
You mentioned earlier the May 1 date, and that might have been an issue, but how have we helped you to stay informed about those Salesforce updates and those Salesforce best practices? That to me is an important element of managed services, being proactive. How are we communicating with you on those types of things, or your team? It's not always just you.
Yeah. So it started with the assessment that we did at first. Obviously as things were discovered during that assessment, they were communicated and kind of put in the backlog, and we talked about what it meant and what the impact was and whether or not we thought that it needed to be something that was urgent or something that we could wait on for a little while. All that was very clearly communicated based on experience and knowledge of the team. And then as time is going on, from time to time when we have our weekly meetings, it'll be and this update is going to be coming. And we've always gotten those informational items well ahead of time. So there's plenty of time to figure out how to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish without impacting those updates or vice versa. We're able to work those into the schedule because we know about them ahead of time, and we don't get to the end and go, we need to spend the next 3 weeks doing this because we have to get it done.